WeirdGulch. After our first visit, we, Troy, Julia, and Brittany sat down and drew the gulch from memory.
We realized we all had different interpretations of the site.
We decided that our mapping would be an engagement with our individual discovery of WeirdGulch and its many faces.
Before that, though, we needed to orient ourselves to the gulch and its place in Denver.
The geologic composition of WeirdGulch, with its many layers of sedimentation, suggests that water has been flowing in this location for many generations. We went to the public library to investigate how the gulch was portrayed in historical maps of Denver.
Okay, so here is a Denver tourism map from 1964, which was before the big flood. And it's pretty insightful because it shows you how Denver was portraying itself. And here's the Platte River, which was what had the greatest flood. And you can see that it's not even marked. And it's sort of shown as like almost like a trail or a creek or a dirt bed compared to the blue lakes. So you can see how it's like sort of out of sight, out of mind in this time. But is WeirdGulch a tributary to the Platte in the minds of the people today? So, do you live in the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know of WeirdGulch? WeirdGulch.
No?
Okay. So WeirdGulch is disconnected from the Westwood neighborhood. But the first time we visited, I just thought it was hot, agitating, exposed. In my mapping of noon, the only places of interest are those few trees that had shade. It felt more industrial and less like a park. The USGS vegetation map confirms this feeling. It does not label WeirdGulch as introduced or semi-natural vegetation, but developed and other human use. Visiting at sunset was a completely different experience. The neighborhood and the gulch felt more connected. Colors were vibrant, the vegetation and water were soothing. We also saw lots of women and teenagers out and about, using the trail. It was alive. Nighttime visit. Nighttime was sketchy. The trail was submerged in a feeling of darkness, except for the one bright light in the middle of the park. Even at dusk, people seemed to only want to get out of the gulch. The estrangement from the community fabric, the unwatching houses turned away, and the deep topography of the gulch made nighttime feel vulnerable.
My mapping began with a bike ride from City Park to WeirdGulch. Across multiple journeys, I recorded sights, smells, sounds, and emotion, diagramming moments of disconnection and reflection. Alameda Drive is a dangerous barrier that severs the connection between WeirdGulch Park to the north and our site to the south. However, entering the park at sunset, one can behold the fleeting beauty of overgrown vegetation unfolding under glittering groves of cottonwood trees, aglow in the fading sunlight. A worn path descending from West Nevada Place serves as a community access point to the neighborhood. That connection to the gulch contrasts harshly with the official entrance along West Virginia Avenue, where smelly vegetation serves as a deterrent to entry. Perhaps the most alarming experience I had was when I tried to record myself biking down West Dakota Avenue. The juxtaposition of alluvial soils and rock, combined with explosive development during World War II, has led to very steep grades. Had I waited any longer to brake, I might have ended up on the street. Finally, to understand WeirdGulch, you must look at the community of Westwood. Where the gulch is lacking in identity, Westwood is alive with culture, a colorful blend of the different ethnic groups who live there.
At first glance, the gulch is a rough interpretation of urban tranquility. Its borders reflect a bustling cityscape and a vibrant community within. It creates a small oasis amongst the chaos. Nothing invited me into WeirdGulch, but once I was there, it was hard to leave. My journeys were subconsciously drawn to the water. All the water gave me a sense of wonder and excitement, mixed with a little bit of nostalgia. Disconnections related to the gulch probed further questioning into how to make the space into a cohesive unit while supporting a sense of identity for the community. Proper crosswalks and resident access would increase use, but connecting the gulch as a string of pocket parks would cultivate community engagement over time. At the end of our personal mappings, we put our perspectives together. We had our own unique reactions, but we shared a feeling of disconnections between WeirdGulch and the Westwood neighborhood.
This disconnect, though in part due to poor circulation and development, felt uncomfortable or not based on the time of day. The topography could render the site exposed or downright scary at noon and night, or alive and interesting in morning and evening.
The site speaks to you of its history and its possible futures, but it is by engaging with the site, meditating with it, where even a framework of disconnect can become an intimate dialogue. It is this dialogue that ultimately opens up the site for moments of connection. By immersing yourself, you can
Be weird now.